Heyo, welcome in to CHGO Bets Daily, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download the app today and use promo code CHGO when you sign up. Welcome in to a remote version of CHGO Bets Daily here on our CHGO Sports YouTube channel. If you're hanging out with us, make sure you're hitting that thumbs up button and you're hitting that subscribe button. I'm Sean Anderson. You can follow me on Twitter at Sean_W_Anderson. I'm the host of CHGO Bets Daily. Alongside me, my partner in degeneracy, Cody Delmendo, my co-host. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. Cody, I know Sunday wasn't the right victory, but I know you had a good weekend at Wrigley.
Yeah, well, the hit parlay hit in the hit before the fifth inning. Yeah, it hit in like the third or the fourth inning yesterday. But yeah, I mean, I sat through 14 innings of frustration yesterday at the ballpark. That sucked, but I was there Saturday, and that was a great comeback. So, yeah, and
they almost did it on Sunday too. You know, I mean,
yeah,
and the over hit, right?
I would say, and I took the over, and the over hit in the 13th inning, so that was a sweat. Yeah, no, 2-0 on the hit parlay this weekend, both Saturday and Sunday hit. So, running it back tonight. Cardinals are in town. Obviously, a lot of discussion with a certain guy, but I'm not.
Can you not say his name?
I'm not going to say his name because I don't have anything related to him gambling wise on the show. So I'm not.
Wilson Contreras. There you go.
Thanks, John.
What? He's a person. He exists.
He's a person.
So people,
he exists.
Some people might be out of the loop, but as Cody said, Cubs, Cardinals, and then we got White Sox, Royals today. So some NL Central, AL Central foes taking on. We also got NBA playoffs and NHL Draft Lottery. We'll get to the hit parlay later. We'll get to the NBA same game parlay later. Let's jump right into the NHL Draft Lottery. Cody, the Blackhawks have the third highest odds to win the NHL Draft Lottery today. The number one overall pick is basically set. It's going to be Connor Bedard, so it's basically the Connor Bedard sweepstakes. And the one way I kind of like betting on this because the White Sox, the Blackhawks have an 11% chance to have the best overall pick. Their odds right now on DraftKings Sportsbook to win the lottery is at plus 600. So I kind of like it because it's kind of like a juiced and weighted lottery ticket. You know, like you pick a spot and hopefully that spot wins. It's kind of like a, I don't know, horse race maybe. I don't know. It's interesting just because it's really, there's no analytics. It's just true luck.
Yeah. I mean, because you said the third highest odds.
Yeah. 11% chance to get the number one overall pick.
And they do like ping pong balls too, right?
Yeah, I think it's like the NBA draft.
I mean, I know that leagues have created this lottery. You know, the MLB just started doing it within the last year or two. It's always been a thing in the NBA, and it's always been a thing in the NHL because it keeps teams from tanking. But I will say that normally, more often than not, you know, those top 3, top 4 teams, the 4 worst teams in whatever league, normally I would say at least 3 of those 4 teams end up in the top 3. So my advice is to sprinkle on a little bit on the Ducks, the Blue Jackets, and the Blackhawks tonight. And I think you'll win one way or another.
There you go.
I mean, sure, you want to bet on the Blackhawks at plus 600 to get the number one overall pick? Yeah, like I don't blame you. Like that, we're rooting for that, right? But as far as a betting perspective, because there's just like no way to like know, I just think sprinkling a little bit on, you know, the top 3 or 4 is the best way to go because I just don't like more often than not. Like it's very rare. Like we rarely have a Derrick Rose Bulls thing, right? 1.7% or whatever it was. Like I feel like one of those 3 teams is going to win this. So I'd say sprinkle on one of them or on all 3, and you're going to win either way.
I said there's no analytics. You said there's no way to know. However, Cody, we can read the room, right? We can see what's laid out in front of us. Do you know when the first NHL Draft Lottery was?
No.
The first NHL Draft Lottery was in 2007. Do you know who was picked number 1 overall in 2007?
No.
After originally slated to draft in 5th place, the Chicago Blackhawks won the lottery, and with that result, had the first overall pick and took Patrick Kane. And
That's how much I know about hockey, but
who just left the franchise?
Yeah.
One door closes,
another one.
I don't know if you've heard this. Another door opens.
All right. Well, hey, like we all know, the Blackhawks purposely lost games this year. Like,
yeah.
I'm surprised they didn't end up with the worst record. But
everybody wants Connor Bedard. It's like that Tears for Fears song. Everybody wants Connor Bedard. It's a really popular song.
So, I mean, hey, maybe it happens. For our sake, for CHGO's sake, I hope so.
Yeah,
and for those guys, like the CHGO Blackhawks team, like for them,
and for our guy Greg, because Greg put down some money on plus 600. So
he did.
We want Greg to fatten up that paycheck. I also want to bring up just my weekend, because you brought up your Cubs thing, and shout out to Dale for hanging out with us in the chat. Horse race, good analogy. Appreciate that. The horses are on my mind. Lawrence, I don't know if you gambled on them ponies. I know you were real excited last year. You didn't. I did.
Well, our sponsor did not have any bets allowed, any racing bets allowed. So I sat there and I didn't bet on it. Now, I wouldn't have bet on Mage. It's just a weird name. Didn't want to bet on him.
Oh, well, now Mage is a sick name, especially after I cashed a 17-1 ticket on him. But I introduced Cody as my partner in degeneracy. I have 6 sports books on my phone, so I was going around just checking out, and then I see, hey, no sweat, $20 Kentucky Derby bet. Why not? And I was listening to some previews, listening to some stuff, threw in some Jim Miller, our guy Jim Miller, who was on the show once.
Club Hawthorne, my old friend.
And the one guy was like, well, if you like Forte, and that was the favorite, then you should like Mage. And then Forte gets scratched. And I'm like, why is Mage then 17-1? And look at that call when they come around the last turn and the guy's just like, here's Mage. I was just like screaming and jumping up and down on my couch. It was crazy.
I was rooting for Two Phils because he's the Chicago-based horse, and a couple 2 Tree Phils. I thought that was a good horsey name, but unfortunately, he didn't have it down the stretch there and got caught for you. And so you win money, which is nice.
Great. And I also had Angel of Empire to show, and I think Dale saying he had 2 fills across the board there. So hey, horse racing was fun. It's the fastest 3 minutes. I mean, literally, that was the best betting experience ever.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. 2 minutes, right? Well, if the horses were slower, it'd be 3 minutes.
Correct. If they were running through mud, yes.
But yeah. Fastest 2 minutes, and that's a fun cash. So I recommend horse racing. That's fun. They're going to get rid of all the horse racing in Chicago and then build the Bears Stadium. What's going on? They just leave it in Soldier Field. I don't know.
Well, Hawthorne is still in existence and still racing, but it's a struggling industry. And I mean, you probably heard Tirico say it like 7 times as they kept talking about 2 Phils, like, oh, this would be great for the struggling Chicago horse racing economy or whatever. I was like, I don't really see how horse winning has anything to do with making money at Hawthorne, but whatever. Okay, moving on. What do we got today?
We got to let people know about Diehards. We got 13 people hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribing. And if you do want to become a diehard, you can see the badge right there. You can become an official member and level up your fandom over at allchgo.com. We have obviously the podcast and live shows on every team every day, on betting as well. We have post-game shows. We'll have post-games tonight for the Cubs Cardinals and Royals White Sox. We also have premium written content for people at allchgo.com. We have written content that's not just for members too at allchgo.com. So make sure you're checking out Ryan Herrera's work of CHGO Cubs, Vinny Duber's work of CHGO White Sox, and Jared Willis, who writes for both sides of the city. And we have dope merch for all of our teams. So you can go to the chgolocker.com and check those out. And you get a free shirt when you become a member in this lovely box as well that kind of shows off. You got some stickers. You get a membership pack, and you get access to our members only Discord. And Cody's showing off his shirt. Lawrence has a shirt on as well that I think you could probably get for free if you sign up to become a diehard. So look at that. Go to allchgo.com and become a diehard today. Go Hawks, plus 600. They're winning the damn lottery. Cody, it's time. DraftKings Sportsbook, all throughout the NBA playoffs, has been given out no sweat same game parlays, and you are here to deliver again.
Yes. came so close Saturday. I had Kevin Durant 25 points, Kevin Durant like over 6.5 rebounds, and Kevin Durant 3+ threes. He did all of that except for the threes, in which he only made 2. I was so mad.
Bad beat.
I think it went that. It might have been 1 or 2+ threes. I can't remember. All I know is he didn't hit the 3 prop. So missed out on that one. That was at like plus 235 or something like that. He had a huge game, but didn't make enough threes. Anyway, tonight we got 2 NBA games. I'm going back to the stepped up same game parlay. Or not the stepped up same game parlay, the same game parlay X.
The no sweat same game parlay X.
No sweat same game parlay X. So we'll start with the Knicks and the Heat. Max Strus threw 3+ threes. Chicago native. He hit 3 in his last game. Heat are up 2-1. They're at home. Role players like him normally play well at home in the playoffs, so I'm going to ride that. Gabe Vincent, 1+ steal. He's had at least a steal in every game, I believe, in this series. And then you got Warriors Lakers later tonight as well. Anthony Davis, 2+ blocks. He's had at least 3 in every game of the series. And then LeBron to give me 20+ points. So that one, if you just did those 2 legs, it'd be minus 205. And if you did just the first 2 legs that I said in the Knicks Heat game, that would have been plus 180. But you put them together and it comes out to plus 316. $10 wins you 41.65. I feel like that's really good odds when you're not asking for a lot. Maybe like the first 2 legs in that Heat Knicks plus 180, just for those 2 legs is, might be a little dicey, but feeling good about it. The Heat are at home. And then LeBron and AD coming off the win against Golden State. I don't know if they win tonight, but I was
going to ask you, like, they flip-flopped, like, Heat won, Knicks won, Heat won. And then Lakers won, Warriors won, Lakers won. So which team do you think is more likely to go up 3-1? And which team do you likely will see, tied after 4?
Honestly, I think it would be Miami that wins tonight if I had to choose. They are 4.5 point favorites. I kind of like that if I were to bet the spread. But I'm thinking about betting the Warriors tonight as an underdog to win outright. They've just been in this situation so many times over the course of Steph and Clay's career. I know LeBron and AD, they're dangerous, but I just think that series is going 7, and they're not going to go back to San Francisco down 3-1. I don't think so. Give me the Warriors tonight on the money line for a single bet. But yeah, that's the parlay. Let's ride.
Let's ride. I like the Heat as well. And our guy Jerome in the chat is saying I kind of like the Brighton first half money line and can Nottingham Forest win. I don't have any plays on the EPL today. Fulham and Leicester played, and Fulham just dragged them across the pitch. Look at that, Lawrence. Look at that word. I used the right word in terminology. I'm becoming such a soccer head. But yeah, I don't know. Everton, they've been in the Premier League for like 104 years or something like that. So like they need this win. I think both teams to score is actually a pretty decent bet at minus 125. Brighton has put up like 6 against Wolves, and they're coming off a game against Man United. Like I think they're just going to try to shoot as many goals, or try to shoot as many shots on target, try to score, and try to just beat Everton on outscoring them. I don't think they're going to try to play defense at all today. And I don't have a read on Southampton, Nottingham Forest. So there you go. Make your own bets. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an expert on that, so I can't help you on if Nottingham Forest or Southampton's going to win. I mean, you see plus 300, and I like that as well, just because Nottingham Forest and Southampton are powerhouses in the EPL, but Southampton's likely going down. All right, we got some MLB bets. You have 2, and I have 2.
I do.
And then you have the hit parlay. So why don't you go first for the Yankees and your player prop?
Okay. Yankees plus 100. I wish I would have waited till today. I took it last night laying in bed. It's up to plus 110 now. They're playing the A's. I know the A's just like played the Royals over the weekend, and I know the Yankees, who they play, they played the Rays.
Okay.
But like, I'm going
Rays.
back. I'm going back to fading the the A's again. Like, I just like these are the games the Yankees got to win if they're going to crawl out of the hole that they're in. I know their offense hasn't been very good, but I mean, this athletics team just isn't good. So I'm gonna dabble. I'm gonna dabble on some Yankees -1.5 tonight at +100. You can get it right now in DraftKings Sportsbook at +110. Be a better than I am, and get the better odds. I think that's really good value against a team that stinks. And Nestor Cortez is going for the Yankees, so I like that. And then in tonight's Cubs-Cardinals game, this is how I've always bet Cubs-Cardinals. I never bet on the Cubs. I always just choose a player prop, and it's usually a Cardinals just because at least if they hurt me, I will win money. And Paul Goldschmidt has owned Marcus Stroman over the course of his career. Give me Paul Goldschmidt over 1.5 total bases at +125. I believe he's hitting well over 418 at bats with 3 homers against Marcus Stroman. I don't know if he homers tonight. It's raining here in Chicago right now. I don't know. Maybe runs will not be very good. Maybe take the under. But I do think Goldschmidt, whether it's 2 singles or he hits a double to start the game or whatever, like he's going to do something tonight. I just hope he doesn't hit it out of the park. But again, he's owned Marcus Stroman his entire career. So
you would be mad if he hit it out of the park because you would win money.
Yeah. I mean, it would suck, but at least I could be like, all right, well, at least I won some money. So, that's my one player prop for that game. And then the hit parlay, let me
give out my singles and then
we'll
ahead into hit parlay. Because the hit parlay is the crowning jewel of the show. We got to save the best for last, Cody. I mean, Lawrence is tailing you on the weekend. It's at +342. I mean, that's a big money maker here. We got to save the best for last. I got 2 quick singles. Andrew Vaughn to record an RBI at +150. He recorded 4 yesterday. He had a ton of RBIs to start off the season for the Sox and then just got a little bit cold, had 7 in their first 7 games, currently has 24 RBIs. But compared to the Major League, I mean, he drives them in. In 150 plate appearances, he's got 24 RBIs. And then actual runners on base, he's had 77 actual runners on base and driven in 24 of them. But the average MLB player has around 18 RBIs with 150 plate appearances and more runners on base or on average because the White Sox stink. So when Andrew Vaughn gets that opportunity, he usually knocks them in. He has one of the best run values on the White Sox currently against Zach Greinke. And it's basically the game script of Tim Anderson or Andrew Benintendi need to get on in front of him, and then he needs to drive them in. And I think that could happen. Tim's been, shooting out to right. And I think that, Greinke's a tough guy to go against, but he doesn't have any massively tough breaking stuff. I don't know. I could see the White Sox scoring in the first inning. That's also why I have them first 5 on the money line at -140. So Vaughn to record an RBI at +150. Sox first 5 money line at -140. Dylan Cease has been dominant, sub 150 ERA over the past 2 years against Kansas City. I'm not really worried about Kansas City scoring runs. It's about the White Sox scoring runs against Zach Greinke. But he had a real blasphemous comment basically saying like, I could pitch anything to them outside of the strike zone and they're going to swing. Well, Pedro Grifol is coming from Kansas City. The last time Greinke faced the White Sox, he threw 6 innings of shutout ball. I hope they shove it down his throat today. So let's go White Sox, baby.
That's interesting. I like that. All right. The only thing scoring the first inning, it's I feel like it's just so common where a team puts up double-digit runs the day before and then runs don't then the team goes cold the next day. So that's the only thing that kind of scares me. But I do like the Sox first 5 against Kansas City. Kansas City stinks. They're not good.
Yeah, I just worry about that White Sox bullpen blowing it.
That's fair. I don't blame you there.
And then you want your hit parlay?
Yeah, let's do the hit parlay. All right. So yesterday I had Matt Mervis and Cody Bellinger in the hit parlay that won. So I'm going back to the well, man. Matt Mervis has a hit in every game of his career thus far. He got 2 hits off Sandy Alcantara yesterday, which that makes me feel all kinds of things. Now he goes up against Miles Michaelis tonight, who has a 5 ERA. Cody Bellinger, he's 0 for 7 against Michaelis in his career. I don't care. He's been incredible. He's been one of the best players in the National League. Top 10, top 15. You can argue it at least. I think he matches up well against a guy like Michaelis. And then Paul Goldschmidt, like I already said, he is, he's done well against Stroh in his career. If he doesn't get a hit early, I'll be a little worried because the Cubs bullpen's really good. But I'm hoping for him to get a hit and then the Cubs to get out of the inning whenever he does, in fact, get said hit. But this parlay comes out to plus 342 after you use the 20% boost that DraftKings gives you for MLB same-game parlays. I think that's really good value for all three of these guys. I mean, you can get Mervis just if you wanted to make a single bet, you can get Mervis at minus 135. The books they've the value for Mervis has been there his first 3 games of his career. He was like minus 120 yesterday, got 2 hits off Sandy Alcantara. I feel good about him getting a hit tonight. The only thing that might scare me is the fact that David Ross has been putting him in like the 7 hole in the lineup, so he's not getting as many chances as, guys like Horner or Happ or Swanson or whatever. But I think that the Cubs match up really well against a guy like Michaelis tonight. So I'm optimistically feeling good about the Cubs offense going into this game. As far as scoring runs and stuff, they've struggled with runners in scoring position over the last week, but as far as getting hits, though, they haven't had a big problem getting hits. So
and the Cardinals pitchers have struggled, not letting in runs. So that's good for not scoring runs. This is bad pitching.
The Cubs are minus 130 on the money line. They are the favorite tonight. It makes sense because Stroman has like a 2.18 ERA, and like I said, Michaelis hasn't been very good. But every time these two teams get together, it's always a battle. It's always close. The Cardinals finally snapped their losing streak yesterday. They're going to have some momentum coming to this game as they try to crawl back into this division race, which honestly would not surprise me. As bad as they've been, you and I both know they have a lineup that should be one of the best in the game. If they can figure out their pitching, they'll be right there. At some
if they
point.
can figure out their catching situation, because they signed the guy to catch, and now he's in left field
or DH. I expect him to be in DH tonight. Jerome's asking, is this a revenge game for former catcher Wilson Contreras? I mean, yeah, it's a revenge game every time he plays the Cubs for the rest of his career now. But I don't like him against Stroh. He's 0-3 against Stroman in his career, and I don't think he does much of anything tonight. Now, because I said that, he probably will, but I think the Cubs get by tonight without the Wilson Contreras revenge game.
Hey,
Will they hit him? Can we bet on if they'll hit him or not?
They're not going to hit him.
They're not going to hit him. The Cubs are going to do the tribute video, and he'll get like his standing O at the beginning, and that'd be hilarious. Be a mix of booze and whatever.
If they follow that up by beating him in the back. Welcome back. We're gonna hit you,
Cody. Will you be there tonight at the historic?
I will be at beautiful and historic Wrigley Field tonight, as a fan and as a employee for CHGO.
Look at you. Real quick, it's also beautiful and historic.
Your apartment
parlays.
Parlays.
Thank you.
Parlay.
Your apartment is nice too.
Thanks, guys. we could do a Chicago parlay. I think the White Sox are winning. So if you think the Cubs are winning, we can go Sox, Cubs. Shit, throw the fucking Blackhawks to win the lottery on there. Let's just have the three teams win.
Should we do the Chicago parlay tonight?
And we could do a Chicago parlay tonight, and then our soccer folks in the chat, Charlie Rubik saying Everton has Deitch. I'd be so shocked if he doesn't park the bus defense for a singular minute. And then Jerome saying Everton has to, and Brighton's offense has been a revelation this season and can't get into a track meet with them. I see the Fulham Leicester City game basically happen with Everton. I could see like a 5-1, 6-1 final. I mean, you just saw 6-0 Wolves against Brighton, or Brighton, putting up 6-0. So I do like both teams to score, just because I think Everton will be able to score one at some point. That's at minus 125. And then both teams to score no on Nottingham Forest and Southampton at minus 115. That 2-pick parlays at plus 236. But you got two bad teams, and I understand that usually that leads to goals. But Nottingham Forest has had an XG of 7.12 in their past 7 games. Southampton 4.29. I don't know. It just doesn't scream offense. Just because you're putting them in the same pitch doesn't mean that they're going to start scoring goals. That's been their whole problem. That's why they're going to get relegated likely. But Nottingham Forest, with Leicester losing, I understand why Jerome was thinking money line, because that would move him up the table. All right, now that's Cody Delmendo. You can follow him on Twitter at Cody_CHGO. Make sure you follow the hit parlay. Can we see it again? You got Mervis, you got Bellinger, you got Goldschmidt plus 342. Best of luck, Cody. You also got Yankees minus 1.5 and over 1.5 for Paul Goldschmidt, and your same game parlay. But I know you're not going to be sweating it, so
I sure hope
it's all
not.
good. No,
there's no sweat anyway, because you get your money back if you don't hit it. That's why
the
DraftKings Sportsbook's the best.
And I'm taking White Sox first 5 money line and Andrew Vaughn to record an RBI. We'll be with you tomorrow for more CHGO Bets Daily, and we'll talk to you when we are, in fact, millionaires.